My name's Andrew Mooney. I'm Managing Director at Digistore, and I'm here to give you a 10-minute debrief on what I found at IBC. Digistore is a system integrator and technology partner for professionals in the digital media space, and our mission is to empower our customers with smart technology solutions. We work with a broad range of vendors, most of which we're exhibiting at IBC. I'm just going to focus on a couple of key themes during this presentation. So the two sort of takeaways I got from IBC were around the lowering cost of live production and OTT. OTT was a big thing, and it's been dubbed the new TV. So I'll just talk about each one of these. So in terms of lower cost live production, there's a lot of things that are driving down the cost of live production these days, enabling it, second tier and third tier and sort of hobby events and obscure sort of sports to be covered. You've got lower equipment costs, whether it be cameras or routing switches. You've got remote production bringing down the cost of crews. You've got connectivity costs, whereas traditionally you may have needed microwave or satellite technology, and these days, broadband, bonded cellular allows you to get the signal back from a venue. And the big thing that's coming up now is a lot of automation. So automation in terms of automatic camera framing, whether that be region of interest or PTZ. Eliminating some of those camera costs. Automated switching, whether that be based on machine learning or AI in terms of what the content is that the camera is viewing, but being able to switch between cameras, and whether that's purely switching, ROI on the same cameras in some instance, or switching between physical cameras. And also automated graphics, so the ability to intelligently add graphics to your coverage using feeds from websites, whether that be scores or betting odds. So putting all these things together, it's enabled sort of less popular sporting events to be covered at a much lower price point. And from a viewer point of view, there's a real appetite for that content. There's almost an expectation these days that everything's going to be covered and it's going to be available to be streamed. And I think there's also an acknowledgement, I suppose, that the quality may not be as good. So people have hobby events, they want to see it. So what this is driving, I suppose, is that there's people are building business cases around this and saying, well, actually now I can cover those sporting events, and there is an audience there that wants to view it. So we're seeing a lot of interest in that area. There's a couple of technologies and vendors that we represent that are sort of driving this change. One of them is Simply Live and their VBox product, which is sort of like an OB van in a box, the live production system. It includes camera switching, ISO recording, slow-mo replays, sophisticated graphics, a degree of automation in there as well to make this very easy to operate with minimal operators. And then also with Degero is a product for enabling remote connectivity, predominantly using bonded cellular technology. So it's allowing you to get the signal from the venue or where the live event's happening, either into the cloud or back to your production facility at a very low cost. So bringing all these things together, we're seeing a lot more demand for covering those sort of second tier or third tier events. NDI is also very prevalent as well. A lot of NDI is enabling that low cost delivery of live streams. The second one was I thought was interesting was OTT, and there was certainly OTT was everywhere, and you'll see why it's been classified as the new TV. Some statistics here in terms of consumption, 2019 versus 2018, 130% increase in consumed hours, significant increase in mobile consumption. The one that really blew me away was the November 2018, Americans streaming close to 8 billion hours per month on connected TV. And if you look at the 130% increase on top of that, that's 18 billion hours this, November this year. So there's more people watching OTT than there is watching traditional television. There's some disruption happening in that market as well, with content providers going direct to eyeballs. We're seeing a lot more personalised content for viewers, so the ability to switch between, the camera angles that you want to see, follow your own driver in the F1s. There's a lot of smart technology going into these streams, and of course more targeted advertising. We're seeing a lot more of that, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that, whether it's targeting on demographics or down to the individual viewer. One of the challenges is that this is highlighting, I suppose, is that the need, I suppose, to ensure the quality of the signal when it gets to the actual viewer. So you can't just sort of say, well, it's okay leaving me, I'm streaming it, it's fine leaving me. There's a requirement for the OTT delivers to ensure that the quality getting to the viewer is of a very high quality, otherwise they're going to switch to another platform, they're going to complain on social media. So there's a number of sophisticated tools coming out these days to really look at the whole supply or the whole delivery chain, all the way from the content all the way through to the viewer, and being able to identify and isolate any particular problem areas so that they can be dealt with. There's two sort of leading products in this, one from Telestream called IQ, and one from Enterra Systems called Orion OTT. And they have a system whereby the signal can be monitored via various probes throughout the delivery channel, so whether that's the origin servers, the CDNs, right the way through to the device. It's all nicely rolled up into a dashboard. If there's an issue anywhere along the channel, they're able to easily identify where the problem is, and then isolate that problem. So that's becoming a big requirement in this area, to be able to make sure that the viewer is getting the right content, no matter whether they're watching on their phone, their tablet, their PC, or their connected TV. So seeing a lot more in that area, and certainly significant feature updates for both of those vendors at IBC. That was it for me for IBC. There's a few from the Digistore team here today, so hope to chat a bit later on. And contact details here if you need them. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Andrew.